Alright, here we go. Let's see what's up in the old patch notes. Nemesis. Elegant Nemesis. How am I always in the way? Oh my god, I'm not in the way of that. Itty bitty GB AMC. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. I approve. Okay. Available in the Time to Party bundle. Jackal, Tech, Anubis. Unlock with all 3 bundles. Why are we giving Anubis a really cool skin when
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the 5.5 update show. It's Time to Party. That's the name of it. But we're also going to party here on set. I'm Aggro. I'm going to be hosting. Hinduman, he's in Las Vegas. And I know you guys might miss him. You know, he's kind of the savage guy. Everyone knows him. He just says savage stuff all the time. He's a savage. That's how people know him. So I'm, you know, going to do my best here to continue on in his legacy as we go through this update show. Let's get to the skins, what you guys really came here for. You saw it at that birthday video right at the beginning. Got a little bit of a preview for you here of those card arts. Elegant Nemesis going to be right off the bat. Looking very elegant, I might add.
Yeah,
certainly one of those skins that you guys are going to want to grab. Elegant. That's part of the birthday bundle.
As always, failure is not an option. Let's fight.
I was aggressive.
Up next, we've got that itty bitty chibi Amuz and Cobb. Really emphasizing the B part of the chibi. You guys are loving these chibi skins. I have as well. Let's take a look in game.
That's so good. These stupid chibi skins are so good.
Sky Tech Zeus next up on the list. I've been waiting for this one for a while. I mean, if you couldn't tell by the shirt I'm wearing, I love me some Z-Man. This one is sick. I can't wait for you guys to see it in game. It's gonna be an awesome one.
Yo, he looks like a Power Ranger Transformer, if that was possible.
Orbital. Oh no, excuse me. I don't want to skip too far ahead. I'm just trying to skip over the Guardian skins because, you know, Hinduman usually loves the Guardians. I'm more of a mid player, but I guess we got to do it anyways. Dark Matter Kepri.
Okay.
Next up.
I feel like Kepri already has a lot of skins, but whatever.
That's definitely like background of my community.
I feel like he has a skin that looks a lot like this. Like, that's a cool skin, but doesn't he have like a dark skin that's like very similar?
And then we've got Orbital Scout Artemis as well for all you Hunter mains out there. It's gonna be
for all those Artemis
roller
players
coaster
out there.
for you Hunter mains.
I don't
patch, but
we'll
get into that.
A roller coaster for you Hunter mains this patch. That's a freaking cool gun, dude. What? Pow pow, pow pow, pow pow. I love it. That's like a paladin skin.
All right, then we've got some mastery updates as we usually do when we get some cool new skins. They get some cool new mastery updates as well. Nemesis. Looking good in the gold and blue. Again, we'll be going over all of these in detail later on in the show.
Oh, God.
Right after the balance.
Loud audio again.
Item
dude, the audio is
We also
really...
have Amuz and Cobb getting a mastery update. He's excited.
Hello, sir.
I think.
He's on drugs.
He seems excited at least.
No, dude.
And then, of course, we've got our newest mastery update. That's going to be Achilles.
That man OD.
I'm excited just from looking at that card art. Just makes me feel happy on the inside. He's just a beautiful man, and I just kind of want to look at him all the time.
Okay.
All right, so those are going to be your skins this patch. We got plenty more on those. Again, we're going to go through all their voice lines, all that kind of stuff. That's later, though, because right now we've got resident balance extraordinaires, AJ and Pon.
Yo, look
guys,
at Pon
welcome to the new
without
set,
the beard.
by the way. You digging what we got going on here?
It's comfy.
Hey, yeah, glad to be here. I like this. I'm glad to be back on a couch.
Just, relax.
This really feels like the show that we need to be is the couch.
The couch
Take a load off, just relax. We're just talking balance.
That's a comfy
no pressure.
show.
Everyone's going to love these changes. No one's going to be upset.
Yeah,
that's a comfy show.
Yeah, zero people.
That's a pretty cool setup, actually, with
all right, so let's start with
the
items.
swivel.
What was kind of the general philosophy when we were talking about item balance in this patch?
We wanted to take a look at hunter items, so there's going to be a bunch of those today, specifically things that they're getting in the early game. Hunters often have quite good late game power, but a lot of that time the ramp up can be a little bit of a rocky traveling. So we took a bunch of the notes on that, and then there's a couple other items in there that are just items we haven't been seeing very much, people that haven't been fitting into their builds, so some buffs to go in there too.
All right, awesome. So let's start off with the other end of that spectrum, because you talk about what hunters are going to like. Let's start with something they might not like as much. Midgardian male getting a buff, but also a change, it
I'm
feels
always
like.
in the
Pond.
way
Yes.
somehow.
So the big thing here is Midgardian Mail is this previously RNG effect that would allow players to be suddenly slowed, both movement speed and attack speed. And that kind of made it inconsistent. When you got hit by it, you didn't know if you're going to have this powerful slow applied to you or not. And the person buying it didn't know if they were going to apply that powerful slow. So we've now made it consistent. We removed the RNG element. Now it is a consistent.
RNG.
Every time you get hit, it's
no
stacked at 50%,
RNG
so
on
it's half your
Midgardian
previous strength,
Mail.
but can stack up to 2 times to its full strength. They have
Oh,
to hit you twice to ensure the full durations, the full slow effect, basic or movement speed and basic attack
That's-
that it previously gave, but now it's not RNG.
So now you know what you're
buff?
getting every
Yep.
time you not only buy the item, but you're hitting the person
Yep.
with the item.
think I'm calling
Do
that
we
a
feel like
buff.
this is an upward trend for this this item, AJ, or is this
I
going to be
think.
kind of stay around the same power level?
It's hard to say because, well, it's a slight upward trend because
Yeah.
now it's only taking 2 stacks. It was 30%, but there was that opportunity before where you would take 1 shot. And
I think I'm
immediately
calling that
apply
a
the
buff.
Full,
Yeah.
strength of the passive. Now it's gonna definitely
Theoretically,
take 2
it can
hits,
be a
so,
very
like I said,
situational
it's
problematic, but
buffed.
that's
it's
gotta
a
be a
weird
buff.
kind of statistical analysis you could do
Yeah.
based on how lucky you feel you were. If you were lucky a lot, maybe it worked okay. I guess it is a buff if
Yeah.
you really crunch the numbers,
Yeah.
but it's the same overall strength, but more
Huge,
consistent.
nerf to
Confirm,
Pond
Ajax
because
said
with Pond
buffing
luck,
Midgardian
he basically
now.
never procs.
It always
Midgardian
worked when I
Mail.
bought it. I actually didn't know it didn't have a 100% chance to proc.
True, we had
100%
that
crit
actually.
chance on
Yeah.
every item for this guy.
Every time, no matter what. All right, next up is going to be
That's
Witchblade, a
good.
small buff here to Witchblade as well. Just getting another
okay.
100 health on this item.
Right, so this was an aura item specifically that can counterbuild other types of guns.
That's
So you got,
interesting
fast attacking
for
assassins,
Guardian
hunters, and
pickups.
HADCs. But it was kind of straddling the line in between offense and defense.
hate
We
it.
wanted to make sure that we kind of pushed this item a little bit more towards the support-oriented build. So if more
Interesting.
tanky characters, more support-oriented characters really want to counter build, they're going to feel a lot more comfortable buying this item now.
Gotcha.
That'll be
All right,
interesting.
so
See how
let's
that works
let's go
out.
to what the hunters are going to like. What are
Right.
we'll go kind of alphabetical, I suppose. Let's start with Aussie. And
Buffing
Aussie getting a
Aussie?
little bit of a buff here. We recently touched this item, Pond, but we're kind of putting some more power back on.
Yeah, so we took away the penetration from it. Previously it gave 15, now it gives 10. And that was a very big adjustment towards the actual power of this item.
Interesting.
And it removed a lot of the oomph that it had. It was always this item that straddled the line of being always bought or never bought, depending on what balance state it was. And we largely owe that to the pen. The pen, when it's really, really good,
not
but it has enough supporting stats, is going to be dominant. When it doesn't have enough supporting stats, it's going to be weakened. When we reduce the actual pen, we can bring back some of those secondary stats without
Okay.
necessarily worrying too much
I
about
don't
it
know
being
if that was
100%
the item that I needed to
But
touch,
this is
you
an
know?
item that can still kind of
But-
go with that transcendence
I
build
guess.
that we're seeing on hunters
Yeah,
right
it
now.
can. The
People
synergy
would
stats
feel
help
like
it build with like
building
things like
it
transcendence.
already,
If you want to rush power like
but-
a Deeper's Glove and go more lifesteal, you can.
I mean,
Crit
that's
builds, they
fine.
like the penetration and attack speed and lifesteal from it, so it helps it flex
Okay.
into builds where previously
I feel like it was already a pretty good flex item.
Well,
so-
mentioning those crit builds, we've got 8-pointed Shuriken up next. Going to get a little bit of a cost decrease here, down from 1,700
Ooh, that's a
to
big deal.
1,500 gold. But we're going to adjust the tier 3 items are going to stay the same. So 8-pointed Shuriken
Okay.
might not sound very familiar to you guys. That's the tier 2
Yeah.
of that Shuriken tree.
Okay.
Yeah, so there was a really big jump up in price between the tier 1 and tier 2.
That's fine. I like that
we wanted
change.
to just
That's a
kinda
good
smooth
change.
that
It
out a
was
little
way
bit.
too
The
expensive
stats
to
for
buy the
8-pointed
tier 2.
shurikens
Way too
Might have
expensive.
not really felt
That's fine, that's a
representative
good
of the
change.
cost.
Overall
instead of
cost is the
increasing
same,
stats,
so I
we
just
could
have to
throw
get
off
T2
the rest
faster.
of the items a little bit more. We just shifted that gold down a little bit, so you now, as a hunter, be able to build more incrementally towards your Poison Star or Wind Demon. Feel okay about that instead of really needing to save all of your money and skip right to the tier 3.
I like
So
that.
just to clarify, neither Wind Demon nor Poison Star are getting any sort of cost decrease. It's just smoothing out that curve. To
They
make
would
it
cost the
Cool,
same
cool.
as they currently do if you were to buy them from base.
Perfect.
I like that.
All right, so that's going to help the crit build. We saw the lifesteal getting, the Aussie getting a little bit better for your lifesteal. Let's buff an item that used to be core. You were just talking about this, Pon. I mean,
Hero
you
gloves?
don't want the items that are built every single time. This one used to be, but we haven't seen it a lot recently. Ichabod getting a buff.
Ichabod.
Yeah, so it's getting its the amount of power that you actually get for stacking it is going to get increased. So now instead of getting 21 power, you're getting 30. So this is a partial revert of a previous nerf that we did to the item. Before it was really, really core. We toned it down. We saw people mess around with it, and it kind of fell out of favor. We're bringing it back specifically
That's
because we're
good.
looking at hunters. Their early and mid game they were struggling, and this was an item that previously really enabled
That's a
them
decent
to,
buff.
if they wanted to go an early game build to actually maximize the ability to box or have an impact early on.
That'll be
and
interesting to see if
sacrifice
people
some of the late
actually
game
buy
for
that now.
They can go this item. So bringing back some of the power it previously had, so that players can actually.
Everybody
in the
hates
early mid
Ichabod,
game and
dude.
feel that impact is
Such a
important for
stressful
hunters
item.
as a whole right now.
Okay, so if we're changing, you're buffing Ichaival, Silverbranch has always been kind of tied to Ichaival. Those two kind of right next to each other, both bridge items. Silverbranch going to be seeing a change as well. That passive getting adjusted. Now you're gaining attack speed every time you're hitting someone. That stacks what, up to 6 times?
Right. So yeah, this is a pretty big shift actually on Silverbranch. Previously, these items kind of went hand in hand. They were originally designed to do that, but we shifted a lot of that to Ichaival to allow it to drain power from both magical and physical gods. An important note too about this Ichaival change is we're not changing the debuffing factor of Ichaival, only the self-buffing factor.
Okay.
So those don't necessarily need to match, and they won't, and you'll notice that is intended. So Silverbranch, we were like, we had this draining feature. We kind of already had the power drain on Ichaival, but having it again on Silverbranch was starting to feel a little redundant. The attack speed wasn't specific enough, so we removed the drain entirely and it focused just on self-buff. So now Silverbranch Bow has potential to be the most attack speed on a single item in the game at a bridge item price, which we thought was really exciting. But you have to really keep the stacks up and manage them. So you get this really cool feeling of just building attack speed as you're going, fighting, shooting more and more shots, hitting more targets successfully. And you have a more specific niche for the item to fit into as a pure attack speed item.
Your little like motion there made me feel like Apollo is gonna like gain his passive and then have all the Silverbranch stacks and all the shots are gonna be fired at once. Like the attack speed is just.
And then you start your second stack.
Just
does it refresh the entire stacks?
Apollo is 5, isn't he?
On that.
So you never actually make it to 6
shots, but he can.
Or is every progressive auto attack
you
refreshing your stack
on the
duration?
same perfect number
So
of
you can be
stacks,
like
and
6 total,
maybe
6 total,
feels
6
good.
total, 6
2.5 easy right there on the attack speed. All right, so that's the attack speed side, but we've got one more buff to try and help compete with that Transcendence start, and that's the spiked gauntlet. That's going from 0
the whole
power
duration
to
that's
5.
broken.
Now that's the tier 2 of Devourer's gauntlets.
Tier 1.
Oh, tier 1
Wait,
of Devourer's.
T1 Devo gloves just got power?
That's way better than I
Yeah, this is pretty big actually.
Yeah, the big thing here is
I made a meme about
there's
a
certain
Devo
hunter
glove
builds that you can start, and they all have their trade-offs, right? You could
Oh!
rush Transcendence, you could rush Diva Gloves, you can start Hunter's Blessing, and so people right now are generally favoring rushing that Transcendence really heavily. And one of the things that we can do to help early game hunters, which is what a lot of these changes are focused for, is allowing them to have relatively strong access to lifesteal early on so they can stay healthy in lane. But going Hunter's Blessing Tier 1 Devos was a pretty slow start, especially compared to Hunter's Tier 1 Transcendence, and then Tier 2 Devos. So now we're making that build a bit better by allowing you to have a bit more physical power early. It'll help you compete with other characters who don't go that start. You'll be hitting them a bit harder, getting more damage on the wave. So just a nice buff to that specific build.
So do you think this will be enough, AJ, to kind of combat that early Transcendence rush that we're seeing out of these hunters, at least for some sort of characters?
I mean, ideally, we still see some gods that prefer Transcendence and others that prefer Devourers. We don't want either.
That's crazy.
We don't want the entire class forcing one option.
Right.
So that's really the goal here. Also, it was mostly just a feels bad scenario where like just the plain lifesteal and nothing else on that tier 1 made your start feel especially weak. With the payoff is pretty good, but you have to get the item and then stack the item. So it was quite a while. And Transcendence also rewards you pretty well right when you buy it.
Yes.
So this is really going to help those items have a more
double
similar
stacking
curve,
builds. Devo gloves
so
first,
we can focus
then
more on
Transcendence.
the differences in stats, I guess, and less on the pacing.
Makes sense.
Only
All right,
attack
so
speed item
next
you
up is
need,
a little bit of a
Silverbranch
fix,
bow.
but kind of a semi-nerf, but not really. The Crusher is getting some visual effects changes. So now you can actually tell that you're taking those.
This is a new feature.
New feature. Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Sure, that you call everything.
Everything's a new feature. Should I just like cross all these off?
So this
right here?
visual feedback is important. We don't want to put too many item feedbacks in the game. We always take a very close look and see if we really need it. But this one dealing damage and delayed damage. So that was a weird feeling to be hit and be like redlined on health and then die a second later and not really know where it came from. We also often had complaints on that from Bluestone. So Crusher in a similar way.
I mean,
adding
I'm down for
kind of damage
visual
over
effects
time
that show
effect
what
when
the
you
heck's
hit them.
happening.
Now you don't need to check your little debuff bar and see that you're about to take some more damage. So
Always a
You
good.
will see it coming.
a little bit easier for the players. Okay.
Yep.
Last item here that I have on the list, Malice getting a little bit of a redesign. Pon, I can tell that you're excited about it, so I'll just shut up and let you talk.
So Malice, we changed previously last patch. We redesigned it largely to make it feel different from Deathbringer. Focus it on ability hunters or ability assassins heavily. Just make sure that basic attack focus crit versus ability crit felt different. And it was underwhelming. It was kind of hard to use. Rather than keeping track of the stacks from like basic attacks like Heartseeker does, you had to keep a mental note of which basic attack was a crit versus not and keep that in your head. And it just was also even when you got got it
I
fully working,
too
it was a bit
enjoy
underwhelming. The
banning
situation for it was a
Surcat
bit
and
too conditional.
Hunbats every game.
So we've redesigned it
I
again,
too.
and it's now going to be focused very clearly on
Wow.
ability damage. So now when you successfully crit with a basic attack or an ability, for the next 3 seconds, all your abilities will deal 35% increased damage. And so that will help you, like if you're Naja and you ult in the air, your first crit will trigger it, and then the rest of your hits will actually work with it. If you're a hunter, you can do things like, I'm Hui, I see I crit, dump my kit right now. It kind of encourages this different playstyle where you might save your abilities. If you see a crit happen, you might choose to dump all your abilities.
I too love Neja ulti.
There's going to be some
Instant
crazy
bonus
burst
damage,
damage
bonus
coming
damage,
from
bonus
this.
damage.
Let's go.
One way or the other. People, the theme for me, that my takeaway for season 5 is people are dying really fast, and that's like awesome, and I'm all about that life. So this item definitely fits that.
All right,
Do
who
you guys
loves
feel like
crit
this is going to be
items?
more of an assassin or a hunter item?
I feel like this will be
Both.
a little bit more assassin focused.
Both.
But I think if you're one of those ability hunters, Neith comes to mind, Hui comes to mind. Chiron might come to mind, although he might be a bit too slow for this. Cupid could use his burst combo. If you really want to build, just focus on ability damage. Don't go the attack speed items that to make your basic attacks better, and look for that one crit to then just explode all your damage out. It could be a fun playstyle.
Well, there you go. That's the item changes coming to you in 5.5.
Wow.
Again, the kind of overarching design
gonna
goals.
drop that
Hunters,
bomb
power
there at the
curves,
very
good at the
end?
end, good at the beginning. Just need to find that middle
Guardian
portion
Mail got buff.
and smooth it out.
Silverbranch
There you have it
got
on your
buff.
screen.
Let's be
Couple
real.
hunter
This ain't
item buffs
changes
and
on
also
those
some
items.
buffs
Those
to
are all
help
buffs. That was a
counteract
buff to every
those
item.
hunters
Those
get
were
a
all
little bit
buffs.
too out of hand.
All buffs.
All right, so that's items. Let's
Wow.
move towards the gods. The
That was
really
nuts.
fun
Fun stuff.
part. What about? So we talked about what the overall
That
goals
was
were
nuts,
for items.
actually.
How about for gods,
Wow.
AJ?
Well, we definitely did a lot of cleanup. You're going to see a
Okay.
couple buffs or nerfs that are mostly fixes, some more visual clarity. When we did the Ao Kuang change last patch, we started talking a lot more about that. So we added a lot more of that in here. And we've also just been keeping an eye on top picks, top bans, and gods that have really been out of the spotlight.
All right.
So focusing on those outliers and
Okay.
fixes.
Good.
All right, fair enough. Well,
Good-
let's start
good
it
start. I
off
like
with
to hear
Ao
that.
Kuang, the god
Good
that you just
start.
mentioned.
Okay.
Had that fixed last patch. This time, getting a straight up nerf. Dragon Call going down in some magical power. It looks the numbers look kind of funky, Pine, but that's just because he gets to shoot multiple dragons.
Yeah, so the ability, when you activate, you get 6 dragons, and then per the dragons you have, when you throw them,
I
it
don't
does
know if
damage.
he was on the
We're
top
specifically
of
reducing
my
the throw
nerf
damage, so the
list.
amount of percent that he gets from that is reduced. So
I mean, he was
can't really
good.
be a nice clean number, so 78% it is.
But
But this is largely to focus on his
top
ability
of
to
my
burst.
list,
He's this melee-focused kind of mage
7
where you get
other
in, you burst,
junglers.
and look for an execute. But the range, his safety with Dragon Throw, and the amount of damage he could provide with Dragon Throw was a bit too high. It was really hard to play around him. When you felt like you outmaneuvered and positioned him, he could throw this at you, and you felt really punished for it. We're toning that down to make it more manageable, especially at the higher level play where he's seeing some pretty strong performance.
All right, the other side of the coin when it comes to mages, it's Ao Kuang bursting you down. It's Aphrodite saving your life, and Aphrodite is getting a buff here, at least in a way. Her undying love, that's her ultimate. She can now use this
Interesting.
while in the air, while being knocked up. So even if she's
Really?
being knocked up and your teammate's getting wailed on, you can still save them.
Yeah, this is an interesting one because we've always had a rule in Smite where you can like fire certain abilities while crowd controlled.
Yeah.
And that would involve like things like thorns.
Yep.
But we didn't really consider knockups in those, and especially beads and things like that. We wanted to be careful. You can beads in the middle of a knockup, but it just doesn't do anything.
Sure, feel free.
Right,
Yeah.
it's a bad decision.
Yes.
So we were looking
It's
at
a
this,
bad
and we were
decision.
talking a lot, and the community was talking a lot about Cerberus interaction with Aphrodite, which is that Cerberus is now the first beadsable knockup. You can cleanse his knockup while being lifted up, and it'll actually drop you back down sooner.
Sure.
So that kind of brought it into our mind that actually Aphrodite has other use cases where it might be effective to use in the knockup
Interesting.
just to make sure she can take less damage.
Okay.
This ability is really meant to shield people at any time, so it was just kind of strange that it
Certainly
didn't
interesting.
let you fire that way. So it was kind of a consistency old rule, but then we were okay to overrule it in this scenario because it made a lot of sense for Aphrodite's ultimate.
There's some kind of lore joke
like
here
it.
where Cerberus gets Aphrodite buffed indirectly in some way, right? Like
Yeah,
the-
some sort of Greek. I don't know. We need to get some expert in here.
Yeah.
I don't know if the two ever have any official myths together. Really.
I mean, she spends a lot of time like around the other gods, and
She
why
doesn't
not?
go to the underworld though. Aphrodite.
Maybe
Hercules goes and
maybe
beats
they've got good
Cerberus and-
sandwiches down there, AJ, and she wants to go grab one. You don't
Hades.
know her life.
That's true. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
What is
Kabrakan,
happening?
Next
I
up
don't know
on the
what just
list,
happened. That was
Kabrakan, this is no actual changes here. It's just to the targeter, but it's a little bit more clear on where
for
that
his
ult is
ulti?
actually
Thank
going to
the
connect
Lord.
for damage.
Yeah, so
Holy,
the ultimate has a big
that was
damage
the
burst
most
component towards
annoying.
it.
Thank
It's
you.
down the center line of the ability, and then it creates the walls.
Thank
now the
the
targeter
Lord.
directly conveys that damage area.
Okay.
So that you know, like,
What an
if
annoying thing
they
that was.
sometimes you might ult and they don't take damage, it's
Yeah.
because there's some dead spots in that area where like the line versus the wall that pops up appears. Now you'll very clearly see, okay, they weren't in that area or they were in that area.
Cool.
And I can damage them.
That was
This is
just
something that I'm not
annoying.
sure I should actually admit, but this is one of the very rare situations where you guys told me about this, and I was like, wait, really?
Yep.
I had no idea.
The
that-
targeter was misleading for this ability
Yes,
because
it
it was
was.
trying to convey the wall position and the hit area.
Right.
The two blurred together on the edges, and now it's much more clear
Yep.
Cool.
that it's just a line damage. That's the way it's always been intended, and then the wall spawn.
I love
Perfect.
it.
All
I
right,
love
another
it.
fix
That's actually
next
just
up on the
nice.
list. That's going to be Chang'e. So with a lot of these circle abilities, we've
Increase
had to make some passes to make sure that it's hitting in
persist
more
time
cases.
damage.
Yeah.
Chalk Torrent for one example. Same deal
don't know
here
what that
with her
means.
3, that Moonflower Dance. Now making sure that you can just consistently more heal your teammates.
Right. I do believe that this was originally an intent, but this has been in the game for a long time. There's no reason we can't change it. There was just a feels bad moment where you would have a dead zone at the very back left of Chang'e where players actually would not be healed or damaged by
Yes,
this.
that's
So we
true.
just increased the
Now I
persist
know what you're
time ever
talking
so
about.
slightly.
There was
so
one
it's still gonna
small
travel all
area
around at the same
that you
time.
wouldn't
It's just
hit.
going to go a little
Okay,
bit
that's what
further
it's
to make
talking
sure that
about.
that completely
So it does a
makes its
full
rotation all
circle now on
360
the
degrees
3 because
around.
the 3
Feel a little
didn't
bit more
actually
consistent
it
when
didn't
you do
loop
it.
all the way
still
back
can miss
around
people
you.
in the area based on how you're moving relative to them, as it is a collision area that travels around you over time. You will still miss, but no longer on two stationary targets should you miss.
Perfect. Okay, so I'll at least be able to say that it was that little dead zone is why I missed my heal on you. If in the case that I'm trying to make
Yeah.
Previously, yes. After this patch, you know,
Much harder.
yeah, it's going to be a lot harder to miss.
challenge accepted. Cullen
accepted.
getting a nerf. This one much more focused on the pro level here.
Here we go.
Not going to be able to get access to his third ability at level 1. So whenever he transforms into the Berserk form, right now, Cullen can use his 1 and his 3. Now you'll only have access to that starting whenever you level it. So you'd assume level 2. However, he still will have the rage pulsing out of him, correct?
Correct. So yeah, the big thing here is the level 1 pressure he was exerting was really high, and it caused players to be able to control things like the blue
Interesting.
buff on the first
Love
rotation
it.
or push people out of lane and cause them to be denied experience. And it was a very high level thing to use that effectively. And so now we're removing that. His
Cool.
level 2 and onward is basically unchanged because, as you said, you're probably going to put your next point into either whatever you start with, the other skill.
Sure.
But that specific level 1 scenario where his power level spiked really hard and it was very difficult to fight has been toned down.
Cool.
And this was largely targeted towards the high level
Nice.
play because we do
Love
see
it.
Colin's
Love it.
performance as a whole. He's doing okay, but he's not like blowing out metrics or anything. But at the high level, he is this very strong pick. People value him very highly, and it's largely for this ability to bully people so early on in lane.
Shout outs
I
to
like
the SPL pro players for really kind of telling us over and over again how they're using this specific feature of Cullen to gain big advantages early game.
Yeah, I think I can hear Variety cheering like all the way from England.
Yeah,
right now. It's
probably.
weird that I'm actually getting that in my ear. That's crazy. All right, DAJI next up
Yeah,
on the list. Another
nerfer.
god that has been doing pretty well
Yeah.
in pro level play. She's getting some damage nerfs on her
Love
passive
it.
and on her 1.
Right. So an important thing to note about the
Delicious.
passive is that actually that applies on a lot of her other abilities.
Good.
Right.
All of them except the ult, I believe.
Yes.
So that is a little bit of a scaling damage nerf
I love
to
it.
all of those abilities, and then also a direct scaling nerf on just the burst factor of her
Screw
on
her.
her stealth stem. So this is the burst, right? We've had
Yes.
really burst. We wanted assassins to come back big time in season 5. We wanted more deaths and more aggression here. Shoutouts to aggro. But DAJI's burst was a little bit too much, and she has a lot of other good
Oh,
tools in her
yeah,
kit too. She's very
10%
evasive,
nerf and horrible
pretty
burns.
mobile,
Loving it.
has some lockdown potential with her ultimate. So
Passive damage
just
nerf,
toning
1
down her
damage
burst
nerf.
a little bit. She's still
Good.
gonna have a lot of good damage over
Good.
time. Her abilities tick, and she can stack that passive on you, things like that. But
She'll
just
still hit
getting rid of that
freaking
one
hard,
shot feels
but
bad.
at least
moment.
it's not.
I think we
as
can
bad.
all look at that one clip of adapting like blink auto 1 autoing someone
Yep.
from 100 to 0, and
It's a lot of
yeah.
damage.
that was kind of the collective moment I feel like where we were all just like,
That's still an important skill to learn if you're a DAJI player.
It is.
Blink auto, 1 auto. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's-
this is going to be dealing a pretty significant less amount of damage, and especially in the late game because it's all scaling based.
perfect. All right, next up on the list is Discordia. She's getting a little bit of a cooldown nerf on her 3. So the safety of this guy was kind of the feedback that we really received, from my understanding, going from 16 to 18 seconds here.
I didn't think she was particularly...
She's a mage that, like, if you actually ever get on her and she doesn't have the ability to answer, she's going to die very quickly. But she does things have self-peel from the ability to root someone that's directly on top. You can use the stealth to evade things. It's a very powerful, essentially, immunity frames where you can quickly dodge an incoming burst that might hit you. And you also have the ultimate CC immunity and also dissuades the people.
She's annoying late game, but not more so than,
and so this level of safety on erratic behavior was just too frequently available, especially because when you're in it, you're also reducing your other ability cooldowns, your 1 and your 2. So lowering this down so that she's a bit less safe allows people to actually jump on her and get on her, especially in the later game team fights.
I don't play confused though, guys. Real quick, this just for me. Season 5 mages, I thought we were just buffing all of them all the time. This is a mage nerf. A little confused. Now?
Yes. Oh, mage is nerfed. We nerfed a mage or 2 last patch too, you know?
Yeah.
We had a lot of item shifts. We had to keep a close eye on mages. We had to when so many things change, you know? But
Zeus still hasn't gotten his stun back, and so until that happens, I will not...
Zeus deserves his stun back? Well,
yeah,
oh,
absolutely.
God.
I'm going to put up a petition.
Smite community, go ahead.
Soon enough.
If you want it, back up this guy.
This is what aggro sends us.
No,
it's true. Just give it back. Nothing felt better. Okay, I'm not even going to get up on my soapbox. Next up on the list, it's going to be ERLANG Shen. ERLANG receiving a couple buffs. Has been underperforming a little bit on a lot of spots. Basic attack getting a little bit of a change there, but then it's really on the spot weakness and the pin, his 1 and 2, where we're seeing some direct buffs to him.
Yeah, so the basic attack change, that's a little bit more of a cleanup from us. It had some weird damage versus timing that wasn't synced up, so we increased the damage to match the timing. So that's following a standard rule of Smite. The spot weakness actually most players didn't know this because you can't see 0.75 of a second very clearly in the game when you are using this ability, but we moved that up to 1 second to make sure that this was really feeling impactful to actually resetting the cooldown on this ability, especially as it's pretty cool. He's like a basic attack warrior, which is relatively rare in the game.
It's pretty good
so
buff,
adding a little bit more to that feature and to make it a lot more clear.
It's a 25% cooldown
from
buff
design
on
what's going on.
that aspect.
And then Pin, you know, we've been over a lot of things with Pin, right? Pin was an absolutely insane ability.
Yes.
When he first came out. The original stats on Pin were crazy, leading to ERLANG Shen support because it was one of the best lockdown abilities in the game.
Yeah. Ranged root cripple.
Right. With a relatively fast throw time.
Right.
But we want to make sure that he can still clear lane
even more damage.
and poke effectively. So he's getting a bit of a
ERLANG jungle, that could be back, dude. I don't see him come back solo, but coming back as a jungler with like an assassin.
The big shift for him was really season 5. Death Toll was a big portion of his ability to sustain and the amount of pressure that he could have in lane. And so after we saw that removed, other warriors kind of figured out different builds that they can do to be effective, but he felt like he didn't really find like a good enough build path. And so these buffs allow him to be, if he wants to go a bit more bruisery, he has a bit more damage overall. If he wants to go more basic attack focus, there's some synergy there. If he wants to go like pure tank, the base damages are up a bit so that he can benefit from it. So he might have some more build path opportunities now that he didn't have before.
Perfect. Okay. Awesome. I see that next on the list, we're back to the way it should be here.
Oh, yes.
A mage buff. Isis getting a buff. Movement speed going up from 355 to 360. That's something that we've been doing to a lot of mages to try and help them out, as well as touching the cooldown on Dispel Magic, her 3, and buffing that Circle of Protection.
Right. So, you know, I guess I lied to you a minute ago because there's even one more mage buff coming too.
Yes,
so
I know.
We're
I'm
still
excited
paying
about
very
that
close
one too.
attention to the mages who aren't performing well in any of our metrics. So, Isis, been around for a while. She has a really great damaging abilities. Wing Gust is one of the highest damaging like lane clear abilities of any mage. And Spirit Ball, if you time that well, like those things hurt.
Yeah.
But she has some really cool utility features as well, and we wanted to highlight those. Because that's really what sets her apart. So Circle Protection is the ability she can mitigate damage and heal from her whole team. So we made that a little bit easier to charge up and increase the extra utility on it.
Love it.
And the silence, a ranged silence, is relatively a unique ability in Smite as well. And it also has a protection steal component to it, which is pretty strong. So we just reduced the cooldown there, let her use that a little bit more. Because I feel like a lot of people don't really think of Isis as being able to lock down people or prevent types of initiates and stuff like that. But when you use this silence well, you really can do that. So we wanted to give her that ability to really become a specific pick for that reason.
I love it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's so much of the talk around Isis
so
that we do as casters is always, her
movement
early game
speed,
great, her late
circle
game
of protection,
gets a little
damage
bit worse.
reduction,
the one that I'm most excited about is this,
and
this damage reduction
and
buff
bonus
towards the later
on her
stages
ulti in the
of
early
the game, where you can kind of plant the circle of protection, say,
So
you have to
good.
fight us here, and we're taking less damage in it.
Yeah, Fire Giant pushes, Phoenix Sieges, even like trying to end the game on the Titan. It's really hard to actually stop a team from pushing your Titan down if this is down at 20% mitigation. That's going to be very impactful.
Excited.
It was big.
For some ISIS play. I love playing ISIS. All right, next up, Sobek getting a fix here, a little bit of a change, similar to the Ao Kuang one last week.
No!
This time on Charge
don't
Prey.
nerf
He's no longer-
Sobek!
He had a little bit of an untargetable
No,
window
don't do that.
in
That was
there.
such a good,
That's been
fun...
removed, correct?
Right.
Yes. So,
Dude, that was so fun.
Previously, there was reasons why this kind of worked this way. When he throws people over the head, he loses collision so that they can pass through him properly. So the collision cylinders don't
So
hit.
basically,
such a
everyone can
big
just imagine
nerf.
Sobek wearing a super tall hat all the
Yeah,
time.
he had like a really tall hat, and when he tried to throw people, it would hit that hat and they'd bounce off. So he became untargetable, so they could pass through. Well, since the early days of Smite, we've added a whole bunch of new tech, Phantom largely, right, where we have very clear ways of allowing player
That's
pass
actually
through,
such a
player
big
pass through
nerf
through
to
walls.
Sobek, it's
That kind
crazy.
of stuff doesn't necessarily need to be hard coded as this total collision removal, and so we're fixing Sobek, so now he can actually be hit, he can actually be CC'd. He doesn't just suddenly go essentially invisible from abilities why he looks like he's on the battlefield. He can still be hit, but the functionality is there. The functionality of him being able to actually throw people over him works.
That's the big one. Is really the visuals.
Yes.
They didn't communicate any sort of immunities,
Damn.
so
Right.
now he no longer has them.
But he's not going to
That's
turn
unfortunate.
invisible because he's got,
Yeah.
he doesn't have the
Right.
Phantom
Making
thing. It's
sense.
just nothing will change really out of this except for
Pong
he
gave
can-
you the extra
Yes.
special
That-
dev reasons why. Like,
love
I
that.
think the dev reason's cool.
the
Agreed.
abilities, and there was never any issues in game. This was just way back in the very before Smite even
Yeah.
launched, because Sobek was a launch god.
Right.
To make this ability working properly, that's the strategy they used, and we just have a better strategy now.
Pon, I think AJ's just jealous of Sobek's hat. Should
Yeah.
get him a hat for his Twitch.
Oh, dude, we should just make him like a really tall top hat.
I'm a Sobek
He's
main for
AJ's
life,
already
so
tall. Like, I
don't
don't know.
talk to me about
I don't
Sobek.
like-
Like one of
Nerfing
those
Sobek.
like chimney cleaner hats, the like really tall ones.
Just
that'd
the
be
top
cool.
hat.
Yeah, no, like
Yeah,
but
but that
a
ability
really
was
tall
so
version,
fun
like
to use
preposterously
for
tall.
the
Yeah,
immunity
like,
frame.
like you could
I won't
see it
turn
like
it
in the
down.
jungle. You can just see
It
his,
really
just
was.
his
Like,
hat poking
it's
above
like a
the
little
walls.
submarine, one of those things, like
Periscope?
periscopes. Yeah, that pops up.
I'm
That'd be
down.
pretty solid.
I'm down. Get it for me.
That's the buff that Sobek needs. All right, Sun Wukong
peace.
gonna get a buff here as well. Another
Ooh,
warrior.
I
that
like me
has been
Wukong.
kind of lackluster since the beginning of
Increasing
season 5.
cudgel
Getting some
damage,
buffs
dude.
to his one,
Let
the
me
magic
cudgel
cudgel.
you.
A little bit of damage,
Okay.
10 per rank. All the way from 1 to 5, and then a little bit of a mana reduction there as well, but that's only towards the top end, still staying at 50 at rank 1.
Right, so big thing to note there, although that's a small
Okay.
amount of damage, he does do
10, okay.
increased damage to minions, so that's going to do a little
Interesting.
bit more. He lost Bluestone, and minions got a little tankier in Season 5,
Yeah.
so just giving him a bit to compensate for that. And the
Yeah,
ability
won't
is
be
relatively
great,
low
though.
cooldown. He's using it a lot, so he can run out of mana pretty quickly. That's never a fun feeling, so trying to be very careful with Sun Wukong. We did some buffs early to Sun Wukong Season 4. He went from never showing up to being 100% pick ban, and pretty much 100% win rate as well.
Yep.
So we're being very gentle here because the god is quite strong and versatile. Just trying to help him compensate for the changes that happened this season.
Okay.
He does it all, no doubt about
I
it.
don't
All
mind them
last
trying to take a
god
little
change we have
pokes
on
at
the list
it.
here is going to be for Vulcan, another mage, so I'm happy about it.
Vulcan
Backfire getting buffed, a little bit of more base
Okay.
damage again, kind of that same 10
damage, same
situation.
thing, okay.
But I think the one I'm more excited about is the Inferno
like
Cannon
it.
changes. It's going to be a little bit more effective now with that item.
So we talked a bit about Vulcan when we made a previous change to him earlier, and he's just a character that's struggled because there's not
and
as much power available to him, and
Inferno
especially
Cannon
as what we were
deals more
pointing
damage
towards
than my
was
5%.
his pet doesn't really benefit from like Obsidian Shard anymore because now this passive effect that gets applied, and pets don't benefit from that.
Wow,
versus
right.
it
And
being
they
penned
increased
before.
Inferno
So
Cannon by 5%.
we're doing a
magic
few
power
things.
scaling.
One, we're increasing his base damage on this
Okay.
ability to help him with early clears and early engages, and then Inferno Cannon is getting
That's
just
actually good.
magical power
That's
scaling
really
increases.
good.
And if you target a person with backfire, the amount of damage you're going to be doing to them is further amplified to really encourage
Okay.
that
That was
kind
like a
of
lot
play
of-
style versus
that was
just
like a lot of
plonking
changes
down the
pretty
turret.
good.
So giving him magical scaling, giving him a bit of base damage to help him out,
Okay.
and compensating for some changes that caused pet characters to not itemize as well as they have before.
Perfect. All right. That
Nice.
does it for gods today for 5.5 party time
That was
update. You got a little graphic to show
some
you
good
exactly if
changes
you're
for
just joining
Vulcan.
us, what you've missed. A couple changes. Isis,
Interesting.
Vulcan getting buffs that I'm going to go home and play
Yeah,
with.
seriously,
Then
Isis
Wukong,
got
Erlang,
some
Shen
big
that I will
buffs.
probably complain about on Reddit later. That's
Exactly.
so that
Thanks,
does it for gods and items. But we've got some other the small things we want to go over very quickly.
Okay.
Pon, I know you've been working on this new player experience changes.
Yeah, so this is stuff that we're doing for Project Olympus that we're going to be talking about. And the thing that I was working on was new player experience. So new player experience, we're
so that
changing
doesn't
the
affect
level
me.
up rewards
I'm
that
not
players
really
get
into player.
when they first get into our game and start playing.
Not really.
These changes are very much focused towards new players who are coming in, making sure their time feels rewarded, rewarding them with things that actually feel very good. Before they were rentals, and now they're going to be things like favored gems, items, and just really trying to grow the player base of Smite. What players are introduced to when they first log into the game and what rewards they're getting and how it's presented to them matters a lot when it comes to a person being really interested in staying in the game.
Sure.
And so we're improving that experience, giving out more rewards so that those players feel more engaged. And it is really focused on making sure players stay in the game and grow Smite as a whole.
And speaking of players being happy, AJ, I know we've been doing some little tweaks to matchmaking.
Right. So we have some matchmaking changes happening.
I heard about these.
There's going to be a lot more information on the website. You can go read the blog
I heard
post.
about this.
So I'm not going to
Under
get
the
into too much
radar.
detail here. We're rolling out some changes to our algorithm. This is going to be done in a kind of testing phase. So first, it's going to be on 5.5 when PC launches. We're going to be applying it to certain player groups and certain queues at certain times, and really just be collecting a lot of data. We're going to see how things work, and then as we get more information about it, we can keep rolling this out more widespread. And this will arrive on console when they get 5.5. So
I heard about this.
check the patch notes when
I
they
don't
come
know
out,
exactly
and look
what
for the
they're
blog
doing,
post
but-
for a lot more information on this. But this is very interesting for sure.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining
I
us. on
talked
the
to
new
Ajax about
casual
matchmaking
set.
a
Super
comfy.
lot
Yeah. Well, we
at
got to check in
Worlds.
and see on how Isaiah and Brett are doing. We kind of threw them
lot.
in the other brand new set that we have. The community guys here to talk about what you're going to need for all the amazing skins we're about to show you. You're going to need some gems. So, Brett or Isaiah, can anyone
Myself.
help us out with that?
Yeah, I can help you out. We have a gem sale running right now. That's freaking incredible. I shouldn't say freaking. That's really incredible. 35% gem sale, 35% off, up to 35% off all platforms for that gem sale. And we also have, as you can see on screen, there's an Ultimate God Pack that is 50% off as well. Get all current and future gods. There's 94 of them. That's a lot of gods.
Good job, Sal.
Definitely.
All right,
that
perfect.
ultimate
Thank you
God pack is
for
always
the
quality.
Ultimate God Pack, 50% off. That's the good stuff, Brett.
It
I'm going to
is.
be honest with you. I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you, but I can just look into your eyes and feel comforted and at home that you're going to take care of our wonderful player base. Isaiah, I know that you were telling me about something before this patch note show, and
was
as
a
soon as you
whole
started
moment.
talking to me about some
Whole
cool
moment.
skins that I might have missed in the past, I just started daydreaming about what I can get in these new season chests we've got going on.
That's right. We're doing so many awesome things for our Smite birthday. On top of all the awesome events that we're running in game, we're introducing these new season chests. So every day during the Smite birthday week, a new season chest will become available that highlights some of the favorite skins for the gods that were released that season. So right now we've got the Season 4 chest and the Season 3 chest available. So if your favorite god came out in Season 4, let's say you like Cucullin, you can get that Baywatch skin. Or Season 3, you can get that Dreadful Doll Izanami skin. Just roll the season chest for a chance at a guaranteed skin. It's awesome.
Perfect. That's awesome stuff. Okay, so last up here that I think I have is the season ticket store. We got a couple new ways that you guys can earn some awesome skins. Isaiah, can you explain this to me? Because I'm not very good at the quick math. So.
Yeah, that's right. So the SPL just started. If you get your votes in on those games, you can earn some FP. You can also earn fantasy points just by playing. And say you missed out on a skin, we've got this brand new season ticket store that has a bunch of awesome recolors as well as skins that rotate in every patch. So as well as these awesome skins that are displayed on screen, this patch coming in 5.5, we're going to introduce Primal Huntress Artemis, Jandroid Janus, and King of the Deep Poseidon. And each update, new skins will rotate into the season ticket store.
All right, thank you guys very much. Appreciate you coming by to the Patch Note Show. Hope you like the new little caster setup.
This new set is awesome.
there.
It's
So
pretty
good.
incredible.
Yeah.
You guys look great. Let
I
me tell you.
appreciate it, Aggro.
All right, guys, coming on back to the casual couch set. Now
Hey.
joined by the lovely
mic
Tina,
in my
always
ear, mic
here.
in my ear.
We've got Ben joining the
oh.
show. Ben, welcome in to the update show.
Yeah,
this
it
is
hurts,
like
it
you
hurts.
and I are going to be forever
we're better.
linked for
It hurt a little
being
bit.
on the update show at the first
Double
time.
dragon right here.
Yeah,
man.
this is us right here. Ben has been a long-time high-res employee working in the art department.
Yeah, I'm the lead character artist on Smite. I've been here for, I don't know, for 11 years or
We're
so.
just now meeting him.
I'm no Chuck, though, but I'll try to fill in as best I can.
You are still wearing black, some dark colors, so getting.
Like I said, I'm trying.
yeah.
I'm trying.
He likes
Lead
skulls.
character
yeah,
design
trying to like
what the-
ease the transition.
That's right. That's right.
the-
You'll grow to like it.
Exactly. Oh, I bet. All right, we're gonna start it off here with Itty Bitty Chibi Amus and Cobb. This is a skin
Heck
that
yeah,
immediately
dude.
I'm super excited about.
Oh, yeah.
Why Amus and Cobb for the next Chibi skin? Is it just because he's got such an adorable big head?
Well,
I think that he's that's part of it. He's a great candidate for the chibi look, and a lot of the other ones are kind of like more animal creature people. So he's kind of like a bee guy. So it's a close transition, I think.
Plus, like
He's our
chibi.
first hunter
You guys
as
get
well.
it? Like
Chi.
chibi.
I think that may have played into it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we
There
had
he is.
mages in the past, and I guess.
What, you don't like mages, Tina?
No. I mean, yeah,
like
I like
AJ's in her
mages,
ear.
but I just wanted. Is there something wrong with my?
Yeah, you just gotta put it a little bit closer. There
Okay.
you go. Yeah, there.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
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 There's the chibi Amus and Cobb in game.
I like it.
his big-headed,
To be
adorable
fair,
glory.
AMC isn't that
The one
cute.
thing that I noticed right away, guys, is that he looks really adorable in like the card art and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then you actually look into his face when he's
It's-
coming at you in lane, and it's actually super terrifying.
It's
Yeah.
intense. It's intense.
I'm staring in your soul, man.
But it's cute to you. Like from the back, you never know. So you never have that intimidation
Surprise.
factor.
he kind of reminds me of Chucky, like the evil spawn of Chucky.
Oh, I love
If he was like a little redheaded
like
version.
the
wings.
doll who's
Yeah.
gonna kill
Stinger
you.
hand.
I
Oh my
think
god, can you imagine flying Chucky?
those bees are pretty good though.
skin.
Like the animated.
There's the honey
That's troll.
as well. Got some cute little bees
like
to
it.
go along.
Yeah, they're
With
huge.
him.
They're huge bees.
Huge.
There's the ultimate stinger right there. It still doesn't feel very cute when you got stung. I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
It's just the stuff he says is gonna be
That's
what
where
hits
you
the
really
spot.
get it.
Point, really when
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that
made
was
him,
a big
so when he shoots
one.
his stinger, I made it kind of sound like he's taking a big shit.
I see. Perfect. Well, speaking of taking a listen, I guess let's take a listen to some of the itty bitty chibi Amus and Cobb's voice lines.
Amazing! You are something else. I am simply the best. Amazing!
Amazing.
My honey is very thick. Prepare to get sticky. You don't want to know where this stinger's been. You look like you could use a little vitamin B. You know, squeezing the
Vitamin B.
stinger out is like having a very pointy baby.
I heard something else
Honey,
there.
so for
I
weeks.
don't have to say what I heard. That laugh. That's pretty solid. I love the woohoo as the kind
Okay.
of homage to his normal.
I'm not
voice
gonna
back,
go
but this time
over
with, like,
any
the
of what
bigger
just
head.
happened,
Yes.
and I'm gonna
Exactly.
delete the vibe.
There it is, itty
so-
bitty chibi Amus and Cobb. That's included in the birthday bundle.
Alrighty then.
So make sure you guys snag that up as soon
Exactly.
as possible. Also in
That's
that
something.
birthday bundle, Elegant Nemesis, kind of the skin we led off with here. Our namesake show, kind of. she's on the patch.
Elegant
picture.
Nemesis.
This is a really cool one, Ben. I love the feel where it's cool, but also like kind of badass and
Cool.
Just
Yeah.
overall
we try to
awesome.
mix like the dark kind of like contrast.
I feel like she has enough skins, man. I don't know. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying that like doesn't she have
elegant
enough?
and smooth kind of? And there's a lot of these kind of bladey elements that look really badass at the same time too. And there's a nice contrast between the rest of it and the hair popping that we try to really focus on.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I love the way that the sword like the in and
Not-
out
not
like,
thick,
razor
not
blade
thick.
style
Thin.
almost.
Thin.
And that she has gears on her wings. That's pretty dope too.
That's awesome. Really good looking in the game for sure. One of those that definitely translates very well from the card art to the in game. There you can see the slice and dice. Ooh, those sound effects though.
Shut up, Robbie.
I can get behind that. There's the
Oh, that looks dope.
the double dash. Wow, that looks so cool. The little blue effects. A lot of Nemesis's effects have like been pretty subtle on some skins, but I love that
Going
little
over the top.
trail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
super cool. And there's the retribution shield as well.
Oh, that was cool. That's a cool animation.
Guys, I think this might be my favorite Nemesis skin.
Yeah,
I don't
it
know.
is.
I don't know what to tell you.
It is.
I really like the wing
Incredible.
treatment. Like the other ones are a little more like kinda
That's a cool animation.
generic kind of looking. This one really
That
sharp,
old the
like,
animation
it goes
is
with the
sick.
aggressive blade
But I don't need any
structure
more
and
people
stuff. It's
playing
really nice.
freaking
And she has
Nemesis in my
wingsies on her
game.
feetsies.
So.
Oh, does she?
And I hear that this is our birthday bundle. Part of that, make sure you pick it up.
Yes.
The artist who worked on this heavily, Wayne. Also, it's his birthday.
Yep.
Like today or
It
tomorrow,
is.
right?
Planned. It's tomorrow, I think. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Well,
It is.
happy birthday to Wayne.
And
Yeah.
apparently, there's been some work on her buns as well, like the
what did-
the buns,
the what?
the butt,
The butt
like
tech.
the butt tech. We have amplified it or
Dialed it
upped the game of the butt tech.
Okay.
So if you zoom in, which
I think,
Pon won't, but you can do it yourself at home.
You could
if you
if you
zoom
wanted
in,
to.
you will
Yes.
see that she's got quite a nice ass.
There you go. Or you could zoom in on the gears and the wings, or the
true,
really
but
cool looking sword.
It's even written down on your little note that she's got great butt tech.
Did you read my notes?
I did.
I think it also
That's
says,
cheating.
don't talk about the butt tech on my notes, Tina. Did you miss that part?
She's trying to put you on the spot, man.
Tell you what, I'm just out here trying to talk about gears
again.
all right, we're moving on.
Why do
We're
I
moving
watch
on.
the skin
We've talked so much about this birthday
portion
bundle.
Wait, we
of
need the voice
patch
pack.
notes?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Let's listen to the voice back. I'm so
Yes,
sorry.
yes, you're fine.
Wait! That was insane. You don't disappoint. Yeah, I'm pretty amazing. Whatever. You're not worth my time. So are you gonna complain all day, or are we gonna fight? Do I look like I need rescuing? I'm a slay my own dragon kind of gal.
Okay.
If they're still standing,
butt tech.
it's because I haven't knocked them out yet.
Definitely going for the badass theme here.
Yeah, so the voice actress for this is actually Elizabeth Maxwell. She's in Ruby. She's like one of the main characters in Ruby.
Oh, cool.
And she's in Attack on Titan and Overlord and stuff like that as well. So she's really awesome.
That's really cool. Awesome stuff there for Elegant Nemesis. Again, part of that birthday
I don't know.
bundle.
Does nothing
And if
for
you
me.
get
I don't need more
all
Nemesises
3
in
birthday
my
bundles.
game.
We had one for the last patch in 5.4, now for 5.5. And
I
a
don't need
little
her
bit
to
of
have
an
cool
early
skin.
spoiler for you guys. There will be another birthday bundle in 5.6. And if you get all 3 of those birthday bundles, you will earn the Anubis skin that is amazing.
Yes.
Look at that. What, Jackal Tech?
Jackal Tech,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we really want to go with like the mech stuff for this. Like, there's some really cool work with the effects. He's a little bit larger than life when you see him. We kind of dialed up a little bit on the size than the other Anubises, so it looks really powerful in game. And the effects are really, really going to sell this.
Again, make
can't
sure
wait,
that
dude.
you get your birthday bundles in order. You're going to want to grab this skin. We're not going to show it to you in game
So
quite
the
yet.
next
Still
patch.
putting the final
Still working on
final
it.
touches
Touches, yeah.
on there, but I can't wait to see it in game. That'll be in 5.6. But again, got to buy all those birthday bundles. All right, so as for skins that will still be in
That's what I'm
5.5,
saying. Stop
let's
giving
move on
people
to
skins when
Orbital
they already have
Scout
tier 5
Artemis.
skins. That's what I'm
We've
saying.
had a kind of a badass Artemis skin before where she's like that infiltrator. Now she's a space infiltrator.
Correct.
Space
With a
infiltrator.
cute-
Tuskar
with a cute
dino
little-
thing.
Is that what it
Tusky.
Well, I
This skin
his
looks cool.
real name
Tusky
is
is
but I
a
named him
boar,
Tuskar
Ben.
in
Everyone
the
knows
voice-
that Tusky is a boar. No
Tuskar.
Tusky could be a dinosaur. I mean, come on.
Tuskar.
Or actually, he might be an
The
alien
Borbarian.
because it's space and stuff.
Yeah, an alien dinosaur boar
Dino.
Tuskar.
Thing.
Yeah, everyone knows about all those. This is Orbital Scout Artemis. Ooh,
This
those
came
auto
out really
attacks.
awesome.
It is.
I
I like her
really
traps.
Look at that
the,
trap.
Oh, that's so cool.
Like the tech levels, like it's
That's
not the
cool.
space tech that we're used to doing. We've been doing a lot of that lately. This is kind of like more of a spacey military kind of tech stuff.
Yeah.
I
like
really
it.
dig it.
Yeah, but the flowing cape as well is the first thing that stands out to me.
I
Like
like
all
it.
the super cool
I really
space
like
tech,
this
but you
skin.
still got time to go to the thrift store and pick
Oh,
up
yeah,
this
yeah.
dope looking
She's
cape.
styling on him,
She
man.
goes into
She's
her
got some nice
gun. Yeah,
elegant
yeah, yep.
bits to
Ooh,
it.
she's scoping them up. Oh, is that when you activate the 2?
Yeah, when you activate the 2,
It's got
it
different
becomes
auto
that.
attack noises.
That's
I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's
the sound
cool.
effects cool too. A little pew sound. Very,
Yeah.
very, very good.
I mean, if
Shoot
you're
the
not
rifle
pew
and
pewing the
have a
enemies,
bow.
are you even
That's pretty
playing
sick.
ADC?
Right?
Like, come on.
What?
Oh, that's so cool.
There's the
An
orbital,
orbital
strike.
strike.
What?
There it is.
You basically get like a kill streak looking thing.
That is so
just
cool.
for pressing 3.
Yep.
That's dope.
That's awesome. All right, let's check out Tuskar.
There it is.
He's pretty
He's got a
cute.
collar.
I want
He
him.
wants to wear that collar. That's
I
my
want him
choice.
now.
Oh
Give
yeah,
it to
man.
me.
Yeah, he's down.
Absolutely.
All right, cool.
He
Making
is
sure that
cute.
So if he gets lost, they can find out where he's at. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Looking very
Oh
fearsome
my
there.
goodness.
Dinosaur, fish, boar, tusky guy. Let's listen to the voice pack here for
I gotta
Orbital
give me
Scout
this
Artemis.
skin.
Yeah! Phenomenal!
Phenomenal.
Not a novice after all. I'm the Star Huntress. These Outlanders don't know when to stop.
I love it.
Tell me where I can find your most valuable resources, or it's gonna get messy.
Whoa.
Why do I wear bulletproof vests? To protect myself against shooting stars. How do I add more meat to my diet? Well, I make it meatier.
Ha ha ha. That was me after hearing that shooting stars joke, by the way. But mine wasn't real.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Tina. I didn't mean to offend you.
Little chemistry going on here.
Dark Matter Kepri next up on the list. Probably my favorite card art in this patch. Ben, can you send me that for like a computer background thing
Got it, man.
immediately? Like
make that happen.
ASAP right now.
Immediately.
This thing is awesome. I love all these dark matter looking skins. You know, the Medusa, the
That is a pretty
Agni.
cool card.
I use them all the time. And
Big,
Khepri looks super
meaty.
good. And look at all the space that you have to like put all that galaxy tech in there. He's a big boy.
I gotta say, I think this is my favorite of the space guys. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many different material breakups. Like, the space stuff is in there and it's very nice, but it's like there's so much more to play with on top of that. A lot of the other guys, like, it's very just space based.
Yeah.
This is like a nice balance. I really dig this, and the wings come out too, and it's really dope.
Man, look at that. It
Oh,
has
they spin
that
the ball.
That's awesome.
That's
metallic.
awesome.
Oh man. The
Yeah.
oh yeah. What do you opens
Yo,
up the
that's a
wings?
sick
The
jump.
galaxy
back
in there,
there.
Ben.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Anything can happen back there, man.
Love it. That's awesome stuff. There's the abduct. Get some little space particles behind him. Oh, I like the little silence. Like a little circle.
Thickest god in
comes
Smite.
around
Don't you ever
The-
forget. We've got
the
new
theme
butt
of
tech.
these skins always
So.
like I love to see the sets. You know, we do the pirate sets and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Look at his look at the trail that it leaves. It's like a huge galaxy. Look
Oh,
at that.
that's so cool.
Isn't that cool?
The constellation kind of pattern
Yeah.
too.
Definitely.
It's a cool skin.
Oh, I love it. I just love this set. That's basically where I was going. You know, the tech sets, the pirate sets, whatever. Just give me as many of these space gods as you can.
All right, man.
I'm all about
We'll
it.
keep them coming.
That's perfect. You
I'm
get a
down,
little
dude.
extra ult stuff there, and ooh, save him, Pon. Nice work, Pon.
Save him.
See, that's what you never would have gotten with
Saved.
Hindu Man here. You probably would have BM'd for that.
Yep.
That's a great play.
You're right.
That's
Play
a
on
great
Pon
play.
Pon. Can we hear the voice pack for Dark Matter Kepri?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Expect that sound.
Astronomical. You are fascinating. I make it
That's a good
bang.
voice back. I like it.
Being naive is not your fault, Organic.
He calls him an
I
organic.
am more powerful than you can fathom. Observation 1. Human organics enjoy adopting other species into their families. One in particular is called a kitten. I would like one.
What?
See, that's an S tier joke right there.
Thank you.
I like that one.
That
Can you
is
hear
an
the
S
curses?
tier
I hear the
joke.
curses is pretty solid.
By the
VVGS.
moons of Uranus.
I
By the
regret asking
moons
you.
of Uranus.
You're welcome.
By
You should
the
have.
moons
That
of
is nowhere
Uranus.
on my notes here, Tina. I knew I shouldn't have gone off
You're
script.
welcome.
That's Dark Matter Kepri.
Jeez Louise.
Yes. Thank
Alrighty
you, Pon.
then.
Thank you, Pon.
All right.
An awesome space skin.
Oh wait, he has a VXG.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he does.
Again,
Light it up, Pon.
he
What?
flies around all the time. I don't know what you guys do that's so special for the Kepri voice packs, but I feel like the Kepri ones
God,
always
yeah.
just feel so good. I mean, the default Kepri, the
Never
announcer
mind, this
pack
is
that
the
comes
best
with it, all that
skin
kind of stuff's so
freaking ever.
awesome. And
We're
this
playing
one
Kepri
fits
every
so
game.
well.
Yeah.
You
He's
can
a-
freaking
feel
fly
safe.
around.
That guy was such a nice guy he was like a dad. It was great. The voice actor.
And he likes kittens, apparently.
Yeah. He laughed at that joke too.
Oh, that's a
Made
good
me
one.
feel better.
Nice work. Nice work.
All right, next up, the one that I was most excited about, even though that might have stolen the show.
yeah.
Sky Tech
Yeah,
Zeus.
boo. It's
If
not the
Zeus isn't going
Kepri
to get a
skin.
stun back on his
Boo.
3, he may as well start
Dang.
getting some sick skins. He already has so many, but you got to make sure that you make it as difficult as possible for your player to decide. This one, it feels like kind of superhero-y, kind of like just mech badass guy.
So we're going in line with the mech stuff on this one. This is again going a little bit away from.
It
the,
feels
the
kind of
dark side
Iron
kind of stuff
Man-y.
and more
I
towards
mean,
like an anime.
even
kinda
as much as,
mech,
like, the
you
middle,
know,
like,
in that
thingy.
line. We really wanted to play up the shield. That was like a huge thing. You got the Aegis shield, but this time with like a digital format and a really cool kind of like graphic for that Medusa head.
Okay, is there any way, just for my account
Sure.
only, Ben, that you could make that shield just be like some sort of
Recolor or
obscene
something? Oh, yeah.
gesture? Like,
We could do something if you like, maybe like a phallic kind of thing.
yeah,
if you
I
like
was
that.
thinking more like, that's not where I was going, Ben. I was looking for a middle
What?
finger, but that's all.
Just like a big
Hello?
eggplant.
Yeah,
I think a big
No,
eggplant.
how did
Yes,
this happen? No,
big
that's not what I meant at
eggplant.
all.
it's okay. See, gestures are coming, man. We got you.
All right, perfect. Chain lightning there. Oh, that detonate looks so
Okay.
cool. I love the charges
Okay.
on the enemy gods, and the little flash after you actually detonate them. They're
Yeah,
still
yeah.
kind of like sparkling. Oh, that's so cool. All right, let's see the shield. Mine will be just as everyone
that's
else's is.
cool.
Nothing weird about it at all. The little pulsating electricity coming out of there.
That's pretty dope.
I'm digging this
awesome.
already. I love it. All right, let's check out the alt. Is that a spaceship?
Oh, what?
I haven't even seen this.
What is happening?
Doesn't matter. There's not a dance
I don't know if it's
party.
like a real spaceship, but it's a big old
Happening?
area where you shouldn't go.
That's right.
That's right.
That's amazing. I love it. I can't wait to just
To be
play
honest,
Zeus
it's
all
cool,
day.
but I'm
That's all
never
I
gonna
wanna do
use
ever
the skin
anyways,
ever.
but especially
Yes.
once SkyTech
When you
comes
can
out.
be like,
Let's hear a voice pack little preview.
it's never gonna happen. You know. Wow, that was a good woohoo.
I thought that was like I was like, how did the quiet get in the woohoo section?
Fantastic! I bring the thunder! You got this. Zapping people is my specialty. I'll take on all of you. Who's lucky? Are you kidding? I don't need luck. Have you seen these guns? People
You can
say
sense the
I
FPS
shot
issues,
them
yeah.
because I don't know how to ground myself.
Not my favorite.
I love it. The SkyTech Zeus.
Not
Was
my
that a
favorite.
special a VXG there that I saw? That
Yes.
yeah, look at that. He flies around. Ooh, I
That's
love
cool
it.
though.
Why walk when you can fly?
Right?
That's basically all I want to do, anyways. That's awesome stuff. SkyTech Zeus, available in patch 5.5. And again, to reiterate, make sure you pick up
At least
that
he can
party
fly.
time bundle. That's the one with the Elegant Nemesis, the itty bitty chibi AMC. That's in that party time bundle. That'll let you get the Jackal Tech Anubis.
Buy all 3 bundles.
Buy all 3, exactly, from the last patch, this one, and the next one. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Ben, gotta say, great
thank
job
you.
on the debut here on the update show.
Man.
Oh,
Thanks, nice job.
thank you. Before I let you go, I gotta ask what your favorite skin is. That's like something that Hindu Man does that I should copy.
Oh,
That I should copy.
This patch?
Yeah, for this patch, yeah.
you
Oh,
start.
I like the Capri. I don't know. And you know that was one of our junior artists that did that. She knocked it out of the
Yeah,
park. Killed
I'll
it.
say.
Yeah.
That's great stuff. Tina?
For junior
I'm
artist.
gonna have to
lady.
say itty bitty chibi, just because AMC is one of my favorite gods, and I like writing chibi skins, so it was
the itty
and just
bitty
like
thing.
Yeah.
the bees and how big the bees are, it's just pollinating.
Oh, okay. There you go. That does it for your 5.5 update show. Thank you again, Tina and Ben, for joining me for the skin section. But if you want some more Smite content, I've got really good
don't.
news
I don't.
for you guys. The SPL is starting like right now, almost 5 o'clock, just in a couple minutes.